dump.
Yeah. News dump. That's an accurate summation of, I think, most of the news usually is bad news. So a news dump that feels strangely accurate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. In case you don't know what a news dump is, Lewis and I couldn't really find anything too big to talk about in an actual segment this week. So what we've decided to do is to take a look at the news and just pick a couple of things and let's talk let's talk about it. Woo!
Let's talk about it while we hear Danny slowly die.
Yeah, I'm the picture of health, Lewis. Don't. Okay. Okay. First thing, welcome to Emma Raducanu's world. The poise and composure of Raducanu showed on the court was just as evident off it as she basked in her glory. That's the headline. What do you think that's about, Lewis?
I think it might be about Emma Raducanu, who's just won the US Open and has not lost a single set of tennis.
That is amazing, isn't it?
It is utterly insane. Yeah, it's people always talk about. This is one of the great things that annoys me about people's attitudes towards women in sport. Is I think they said to Andy Murray something about, you'll be the first British person, or the
first British player.
Nobody's first British. No, that was it. It was something like. Maybe you'll be the first person to win 2 Grand Slams in a row, or whatever it might have been. And he turns around and goes, well, I think Venus and Serena have won about 20 of them each.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so incredibly good at tennis. And so's this Emma, I've completely blanked on her surname, Raducanu.
Raducanu, yeah.
Yeah, who's incredibly, incredibly good at tennis. And it's just so lovely to see people be so good at things.
Yes.
In a strange way, it makes me think, how far have we come as a species from living in caves? Because, essentially, what we're looking at with Emma Raducanu being so good at sport is we've got enough leisure time that we don't have to be, like, hunting down mammoths and pushing them off cliffs and trying to butcher them and tan their skin and all this sort of stuff. Because we've got, like... We live in a world where we have enough leisure time that Emma Raducanu can train and get incredibly good at tennis. And now she's won this incredibly huge achievement.
Absolutely.
I think it says something about where we stand as a species. I think it's really impressive.
No, it really does. I mean, it's like, instead of just, hitting things because we had to survive, we can now hit balls in order to, get a sense of joy and comfort and a sense of achievement that doesn't involve killing other human beings for resources. I think it's amazing, I mean,
yeah, 100%.
I certainly couldn't do it, Lewis.
No,
what Emma
not.
has done. I mean, try as I may, I can't even do 2 skipping ropes. I get to the first one, goes over quite nicely, and then the next one hits my shins, doesn't it?
Oh, tragedy.
Yes,
I'm quite good at Wii tennis. I beat Chloe at Wii tennis quite regularly if we play. So I suppose that's good.
I mean, I played Wii tennis with Chloe recently. I didn't win, so I'm not gonna. I'm good at. What am I good at? I'm good at. I'm good at acting. I'm good at that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's and I'm good at talking shite for an hour. To an hour and a half every Sunday. Tune in.
I've got one final thing I want to say about Emma Raducanu. Her amazing... By the way, what a brilliant name. It flows so nicely off the tongue. But her success reminds me of a headline from... Oh, God. My sense of time is terrible at the worst of times, but this was a mid-pandemic headline, so I've got no fucking clue when it came out.
Yeah.
It was a headline like, in like a population poll of people in the street, 30% of men thought they could beat Serena Williams at tennis. And
what?
Exactly. That was exactly what I thought. I just remember thinking, what? Because I just got this image, this bizarre image of this man who's got this deep sexism instilled in him when he's like, yeah, well, just by virtue of the fact that I'm a powerful, strong man, I will beat Serena Williams at tennis.
Yeah.
And then he goes out onto the court, and Serena Williams is just like, she's got like a racket, and she's got like tennis stuff on, and he's there in his tennis stuff, and they're all ready to play tennis. And he looks at her and he thinks, oh, she'd be prettier if she smiled more. And then she serves the ball, and it just passes cleanly through his skull, and she just kills him immediately. it's just the most insane thing to think. Yeah, I could beat Serena Williams at tennis. That'd be brilliant. I could easily do that.
I just don't know how arrogant you would have to be in order to even think that you could hold a candle to Serena Williams at tennis. But you know, that's masculinity for you, isn't it? You know, it's
yeah.
They're persistent. I'll give them that.
The thing is, I don't even feel that confident about things I know I'm good at.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I know I'm a good cook. I know I'm a good writer. But even then, I'm still fairly unconfident about them.
Yeah,
If
I wouldn't be like,
are you good at whatever?
I
I'd be
can,
like, well, yeah, I know.
I can fucking destroy Tom Hanks in a
in an act off.
yeah, in an improv contest. You know, well, I've never seen Tom Hanks do improv, so he might be really shit. But yeah, that's the first piece of news. So yeah, congratulations to Emma Raducanu.
Yeah.
The next piece of news that I've got here, is vaccine passports, Lewis.
Oh, I.
Yeah. So apparently, growing discourse on whether people who are vaccinated should get a passport. That's not what it is at all. It's okay. So in Scotland,
I'm almost entirely unaware of this. So you are going to have to break this down quite
Right.
intensely.
okay. So I don't know where it started. I think it's happening in Quebec as well, which is in Canada, I believe. There are these passports that are being sort of proposed that would mean that everyone would get them, and if you're not vaccinated twice and you don't have a passport saying that you are, you wouldn't be able to get into like nightclubs and other venues like that to like enjoy yourself, rather than, you know, just as it is where you can just do the track and trace at the door and then go in. So in Scotland it looked as if it was going to happen, but now Sajid Javid has said that the plans are going to be scrapped in England, and I think that's like sort of putting pressure on Scotland to like rethink whether they're going to try and implement it.
I think it. I mean, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Like, there's a horrific infectious disease tearing its way through the population. The UK has started beating the US in numbers of new cases every single day. So, doesn't it make sense to have people have some way of saying, yes, I'm fully vaccinated, here's proof. Yes, I can drive a car, here's proof, here's my driving license. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why what people have said about it. Someone called Maxime Bernier, leader of the PPC. What is that? This could be an absolute prick of a man. The vaccinated can spread the virus too. The only rational but realistic way to prevent its spread would be to deploy rapid testing everywhere instead of a useless vaccine passport. What governments want is to control us, not to control the spread of the virus.
Bloody hell. This is that same insane we want a small government nonsense of, okay, you want a small government, but what do you want instead then? Because who's going to provide you clean drinking water? Who's going to provide a working sewage system, etc., etc., etc.? And then you ask these people this, and they say, well, we'll do that together as a community. Right, so this community group that's going to do all these things, how are you going to decide who does it? Well, I think we'll have probably some kind of election where we all just stand around and decide who's going to do it in the community. I see. So what you're saying is you want a locally organised group of people to run things for the good of the community, and that's different from a government. How?
Yeah.
It infuriates me to no end. He is right that vaccinated people can spread the virus. This is true, and he's also, well, he hasn't said it there, but aware of the fact that there is now a variant that has been evolved within the UK. So, yeah, I get it. It's perhaps not the most flawless system in the world, but it's better than nothing, surely. And the thing that The thing I find this compared to a lot when I have seen similar things online is the idea of having to show ID to vote in an election, which is something that I think they do in certain counties and states in the US. It's not common practice in the UK, or at least not when I voted anyway. I think, yeah, because you get sent your polling card, and then you take that, I think, and then they say, oh yeah, you are Lewis Brindley. Go and vote for whatever you want. And then I go in and see it's Tory, UKIP, Lib Dems, and I go, oh fuck, that's the only people on the ballot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that is a flawed system to have to present ID when you vote.
Absolutely.
Because it costs money to get an ID.
Yeah.
For example, I do not have a valid passport at the moment because there is no reason for me to have one, and it costs a lot of money to get a valid passport. And that's just not something I've been able to afford in recent time. I've got my driver's license, which doesn't ever go out of date, I think, or it does when I'm 60 or 70 or 80 or whatever the law is nowadays. But it does eventually go out of date, and I'll have to get it redone. But that'll be when I'm 70.
Yeah.
So the problem with saying everybody must have an ID to vote is that people who cannot afford to get their passport, cannot afford to get a driving license, cannot afford to get different sort of secure forms of identification, that excludes them from voting, which skews the vote in favour of people who are more affluent, which obviously presents its own set of problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if the vaccine passport is being provided free of charge to anybody that has their jab, I mean, it's in my wallet now. I've got them. I'm sure you've got one, Dan. I know you've had your jab. It's a little piece of cardboard, the size of a credit card or something, and it just says this is the vaccine that you've had. I've forgotten which one I've had. I think it's Pfizer or whatever. It says Pfizer, and then the person that gave it to me signed it and put the date, and then now I carry it with me everywhere.
Yeah.
So if I tried to go into the pub and they said, "Have you got your vaccine card?" and I showed them that, and they said, "Yep, go in," that's completely fine. If that's a state-sponsored cost, I haven't got to pay anything extra, then I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. If they start imposing hoops you have to jump through to get a vaccine passport, then you start to question what the morals of it are and why people might be doing it. But at a purely surface level, I can't see any problems with that.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, well, if it doesn't stop the spread of the virus, then what's the point? Because if you have the vaccine and you're vaccinated, it reduces the symptoms, and it makes the symptoms a lot harder to be in full force. So if you haven't been vaccinated and you're among people that have, your symptoms are going to be worse, which means that the spread of contagion is going to be worse as well. So I mean, it's if you look at it that way, I'm just looking at Twitter here because some people are saying really funny things. Got my vaccine passport, said Todd Starnes, and it's a picture of the Constitution of the United States of America.
Jesus fucking Christ. The best thing I've ever seen about the US Constitution was in Family Guy. When they said when it was like just a stupid cutaway, and it was a few founding fathers stood around and they said, "Okay, we've nailed down the Constitution. We've got everything in there that we want to get in there. Do you think that bit about the right to bear arms is? Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that's all right? Do you think people will understand it?" And one of the founding fathers goes, "Yes, completely. I think everybody will understand that every US citizen has the right to a bear arms on their wall. They have the right to kill a bear, take its arms, and stuff them and put them on the wall. Everybody should know that for all time." And okay, that's the joke, obviously, is, they've misunderstood the Constitution or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was written literally in the 1700s. So it's all very well to say that it's an important document, and it is an important document, but it was written in the 1700s. So much has changed since then. That's why there are amendments and changes, and I can't get behind it. This idea of we must follow this document to the letter forever. Yeah, it's like, well, how would George Washington react if you showed him an iPhone? What would his reaction possibly be to that device?
It's aliens.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you can't rely on everything he says because we live in such a changed world now.
Oh my God.
Okay. Have you just started bleeding out of your eyes or something?
I've just seen possibly the worst tweet ever. The vaccine passport is exactly like the Nazi yellow star.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
If the Nazi yellow star means that the recipients had received life-saving medicine at no cost to themselves, and maybe with some free lottery tickets as a side bonus. Oh no, wait, no, it's fine. It's criticising that. I guess.
I guess it's not doing a very good job of it. It's a
the-
very clunky way to.
Yeah.
Jesus, if you're
If the
trying to
Nazi yellow
defend
star-
something, maybe don't compare it to. Christ.
Why is it the Nazi yellow star? It's the Star of David, you fucking idiot. Let's not. The Nazi yellow star. What? That's weird. But yeah, Twitter is an absolute hellhole, and
Yeah,
it should
Twitter
be
is a hellhole.
It should be avoided at all costs.
It's,
I would say.
Yeah, I find I only go on Twitter when I'm in the mood to get angry about something.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in a bad mood anyway, and then it's alright, time to look at Piers Morgan's Twitter. And then I look and I get angry about whatever stupid thing he said recently, and it's, yep, that's better. I'm nice and angry now. I can go and smash up some cardboard boxes to fit them in the bin or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, folks, the reason that these passports have been implemented is because governments are trying to encourage more people to get the vaccine. Because getting the vaccine does decrease the symptoms of COVID. And once most people are vaccinated, it will be much harder for the virus to mutate and develop. So
the longer the virus is here, the harder it is to fight against it.
Yeah.
So that's it. There's no more than that. If you get the vaccine, your symptoms will be massively reduced, and your system will be able to deal with it much better. And that means that we will have to deal with it for a lot less time. At the rate we're going, this is going to be the next thing until 2030, for Christ's sake. It's absurd.
Absolutely. But in terms of news, I'm not really seeing anything else.
Right, okay, here we go. I'm going to look at The Guardian, that well-known bastion of accurate, neutral political reporting.
Yeah.
Is there a new... I suppose The Independent is probably neutral. Emma Raducanu's good at tennis. The UK... Oh, have you heard about this? There's a hike in the national insurance tax.
No, I haven't.
Yes, national insurance tax is something that... It's if you're not aware, I think it's essentially very similar to the US social security system. I think because I pay my national insurance and my tax and all that, obviously, but you pay however much into your national insurance, and then when you retire, you get your national pension out of it. That's essentially the concept. But the idea is that in the meantime, between when you start paying and when you start drawing on the pot, that money is used for social care and social sort of things like nursing homes, things like schools, things like that. And at the minute, Boris Johnson, despite all of his campaign promises to not raise the national insurance tax, he is raising the national insurance tax. Yes, in order to fund social care. But then, this is something that I utterly cannot abide, because it's now that I think about it for more than 2 seconds, it's actually very similar to the poll tax that was what sort of got Maggie out in the end.
Yeah.
The national insurance is something that everybody pays. Literally everybody you meet in the UK, if they pay any form of tax at all, they do pay national insurance. I pay it, Dan pays it, I'm sure. Everybody pays it. So essentially, it's calculated based on your income. So I don't quite enjoy doing my taxes, but you put in all your different information about how much you've earned over the past year, what your taxable income is, and all the rest of it, or at least if you're self-employed you do, and then it spits out a number and says, okay, based on these calculations, the percentage of your income and whatever, you have to pay X amount national income, and you have to pay national insurance tax, and you have to pay X amount of income tax. And then I think, at least for me, it combines those into a big one number, and then I just pay it all at once, because it's easier for me that way. But the national insurance is something everybody pays, and income tax is based on income. But what that means is that, essentially, what I'm trying to say is that Boris Johnson is trying to tax everybody at a similar rate, which is just not fair, because you can't tax everybody at a similar rate, because there's people like Richard Branson who has more money than God. It's like, well, maybe we should not do that. Maybe we should
tax people
tax
that
the
can
rich.
that can absolutely demonstrably afford it, rather than people who are already living paycheck to paycheck, and like we were talking about, can't even afford ID to go and vote. So, but somehow they have to contribute the same amount as a rich person who can afford ID and votes all the time and jumps the country every 6 months to avoid the tax that they should be paying anyway. But But yeah, I mean, I saw a sort of I saw a Tory slogan saying that them. Oh shit! What was it? It was something really funny because I think it was just after they announced that they were going to do this. Conservatives. Ugh. Got a blue heart emoji on their Twitter.
Christ.
Fucking pricks. Can you tell who I support? Wait. Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it, man. It was like a 3 promise sort of thing. It was like, we can promise low taxes. Oh, never mind. I can't remember what it was. It was something really funny though. Is it on Downing Street maybe? Downing Street? Boris Johnson. I'm sorry, if I don't find it in the next 3 seconds, I'm just giving up. 1, 2.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
3. No, I can't find it.
Okay.
But it was something really. It was like a 3-tier promise sort of thing, almost like in the Soviet vein of like peace, bread, land. It was like low taxes, low state intervention or something like that. And now before they've even fucking been re-elected, they've broken that promise. So hey,
I know. It yep. Well, I'm looking forward, at the very least, to the glorious future that Brexit will be providing for me. I'm looking forward to what about like food shortages and shit because of Brexit?
Yeah, I can't wait for xenophobic isolationism to set in. Oh, love it. You know, that's my bread and butter right there. But in terms of news, I think three pieces is quite a big dump. You know, that's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of, so I think if you, unless you've got anything else, Lewis, I think we could probably.
I certainly do not.
Move on. Well, folks, in short, tennis is doing well. Get the vaccine, and yeah, don't trust the Tories. Way.
Yeah. If you'd like this format, let us know of us talking about the news, because it's something we've never actually considered before. We've always tried to find something interesting relative to the show. But yeah, if you like us talking about the news, tell us. If you hate it, let us know. Either way.
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, thanks so much, and we will see you next time.